May I help you, Inquisitor?
A spirit on the island held the memories and possessions of Ameridan's lover, a woman named Talana. It told us that Ameridan was here on orders from Emperor Draken himself, and where he went next.
Andraste's dimples. I may have received tenure from that sentence alone. Ameridan had a lover. Talana, you said. The Inquisitor's Lady Mage. There was such debate over whether she existed. And there were orders? This was a request from Draken? This changes everything.
It's fascinating to find new evidence about these things. The spirit said to follow the river to the north, and something about spires or spikes.
Up the river, the scouts have had trouble with Hakkonites up there. I'll continue my research, but for now, your guess is as good as mine.
What do you need me to do next, Professor?
That spirit on the island said something about Ameridan going upriver to, someplace with spires? While you search upriver, I'll continue studying these buckles. That, sounded better in my head.
I take it you're not from Orlais, originally?
No. Starkhaven. Fourth son of Lord and Lady Kenrick, destined for chantry service. Fortunately, I convinced them the university might be a fashionable alternative.
How were you assigned to the Inquisition?
I study primarily the early chantry, particularly around the signing of the Navaran Accord. That was why I transferred to the University of Orlais, closer to the source than Starkhaven. Sadly, most scholars took Inquisitor Ameridan's history as settled, even with so many questions remaining. No one took my ideas seriously until your Inquisition formed. I wrote Ambassador Montpellier, and, well, here we are.
What's it like at the University of Orlais?
Oh, it's brilliant. Some of the greatest minds I've ever known. Now, the university was always well regarded, but Empress Celine made it the envy of all Thedas. She even got them to start admitting elves. Few bent noses, but it's worth it. Knowledge knows no bounds and all. With that unpleasantness with Grand Duke Gaspard done, the university is safe as a haven for knowledge.
I'd like to discuss Inquisitor Ameridan.
Of course, your predecessor. Existing historical records are contentious. Some say he was a devout Andrastian. Others suggest he cared little for religion, gaining leadership of the Seekers through Emperor Draken's friendship. He disappeared around the time the Seekers of Truth, the original Inquisition, incorporated into the newfound chantry. Historians assumed he retired to go dragon hunting. Our new information should shake up academic circles profoundly.
I'll speak with you later.
Have you seen the plans for the new camps? Tree houses. It all sounds awful and precarious.
Don't you like the idea of tree houses?
It's a good idea, in theory. Up where the wild animals can't get us. But having solid ground so far, far below me with nothing but air in between us is just...
Who would have thought? Scout Harding afraid of heights.
Me? No. No. I'm not afraid. Who's afraid? No one's afraid. I love being up high. Lovely views, fresh air, birds flying at my head. Yeah. I'm a little uncomfortable with heights. Don't tell anyone.
I should go.
See you soon, Inquisitor.
Let's look around. finally found someplace I hate even more than caves. That's a first.
Over there. We must do something. Still standing. That's...
Inquisitor. Still finding it difficult to breathe, but I'm not strewn across the landscape, so thank you. I'm Colette, Professor Kenrick's research assistant. I was hoping to conduct a survey of a Tevinter ruin in the hills. I may not have chosen the best route.
You're Kenrick's research assistant, so that makes you a student at the University of Orlais?
It does? Why?
Orlesian institutions aren't always accepting of elves.
So the glances and loud whispers remind me. The university accepts those worthy of admission, though elven students are few.
How do you find it there?
It's not easy, but this is what I want. And I like working for Professor Kenrick. Elven research students, where publications concerned, their work's often deemed not substantial enough for formal credit. But Kenrick cares about people who want to learn. If our research finds an audience, I know my name will be included.
What were you hoping to find at the ruin?
The Tevinter's time here was brief, but their architecture endured, offering shelter, forming landmarks. Ancient Avar would have encountered these structures, which certainly predate Inquisitor Emeridan. Evaluating the ruins could offer insight into the region's history, once I can get set up.
You're still going there?
I've read everything we have on Emeridan, and studied up on new excavation techniques. I won't waste this opportunity. If you've a map, I can show you my destination. If you'd be interested in the findings.
Stay safe.
I will.
Someone's used these bones in a spell. Or the jaws of Hakkon casting a wall.
It could be blood magic. Let's look for any more skulls.
I'm shocked I've never seen this plant before. It's so melodramatic, half the Magisterium should be growing it.
Someone fought something big here. It could be that bear the Avar are looking for. If the bear isn't dead, it has to be nearby.
Are free to sacrifice! Jaws of Hakkon, destroy them!
goat-kissing, blood-drinking, Hakkonite chicken crabs! Thank you, Inquisitor. Storvacker has returned. My hunters saw what you and she did to the Hakkonites who held her. In trapping Storvacker, the jaws of Hakkon broke their peace oath with Stonebear Hold. Our blades are yours.
I assume your bear is all right after whatever they were going to do to her?
She is fine. As for what they were going to do, my hunters brought items back from where they held Storvacker. I know what they intended. It is not something you will like. Something few Avar would tell Lowlanders. But you must hear it. The jaws of Hakkon sought to bind their god in mortal form and bring war to the Lowlands.
By saving your bear, have we put an end to their plans?
Though you have given them pause, they will try again. Ages ago, the old jaws of Hakkon did the same. They brought their god to life to destroy the Lowlands. Their foolishness lost Hakkon to all Avar. Now they would free him and begin again.
What did you mean when you said that their foolishness lost Hakkon to all Avar?
When they bound Hakkon to mortal form, he became blood of this world. He could hear no prayers, nor speak to the augurs. All he could do was kill. Then he vanished instead of dying, as though rendered mute, lost for ages. If they sought to free him from mortal form, I could understand. Making him attack the Lowlands is a fool's work.
What would happen if the jaws of Hakkon succeeded in their plan?
Hakkon would come to the Lowlands in the form of a great beast. The Hakkonites would join him, their numbers swelled by foolish young warriors dreaming of honor names. Even if war were needed, it should not be like that. With gods wreaking havoc in blood-soaked fields. The gods should stay where they belong.
The Avar wouldn't like the idea of war with the Lowlands.
Is that what your skulls say? It does us no harm to be feared. If our land is threatened, we will happily fight. And a raid here and there keeps both sides sharp. But we have no need of your Lowlands. Not when our goats are fat and our fish are plenty. And not when the sky is torn with demons. Only a fool fights in a burning boat.
You said that the jaws of Hakkon first tried binding their god in mortal form hundreds of years ago.
What of it?
In our search for Inquisitor Emeridin, we learned that he came here to fight a great dragon 800 years ago. A dragon that came from the mountains with Avar warriors to attack the Lowlands.
Your last Inquisitor must have fought well to stop Hakkon himself.
You're not bothered by the idea that our Inquisitor killed your god?
He didn't kill him. That would have been easier. Whatever fight your Inquisitor finished, the jaws of Hakkon started. I find no fault with a warrior defending his people.
Do the Avar gods take mortal form on a regular basis?
No. The gods belong in the land of dreams. Whether it is their wish or some augurs that brings them here, battle tears will be shed. The skulls say the Lady of the Skies took mortal form when Tyrda Brightaxe first led the Avar to the mountains. They say many things about Brightaxe and the Lady.
Based on what we know, what must we do to stop the jaws of Hakkon?
Their hold is an old Lowlander fortress. It is shielded by a great wall of ice. Magic even the Hakkonites do not know. Unravel its magic, and we will scatter their bones so the Lady never finds them.
We still need a way to melt the wall of ice around the Hakkonites' fortress. Do you have any ideas?
No. It is Lowlander magic and nothing to do with us. Our spirit talkers are useless as battle goats. The Hakkonites must have found the magic in the old fortress. Speak to your people. Perhaps they will know more.
I'll speak with you later.
Farewell. I hear you judge wrongs among your people, Inquisitor. If you are willing, I ask you to judge Storvacker.
I'm sorry?
As a warrior of our hold, Storvacker should have died rather than submit to the vile ritual the jaws of Hakkon had prepared. It is Unclear whether the Augur or I should judge such a thing. You are here. I would be grateful.
I suppose I could render judgment if it helps the hold.
Storvacker, will you speak to the hold for your deeds?
As honorary member of the Hold, I believe a Hold Beast can travel with my people and still keep her oaths. Storvacker, as Inquisitor First Thaw, your punishment will be to serve my Inquisition.
Lady, the Master of the Hunt will make mockery of me for this.
There! It's the Lowlanders!
Kill the Inquisitor! Death to his hold! For Hakkon's glory! Dead!
The ancient Imperium did like to leave a mark. I wonder how long they stayed.
Was this what Colette was trying to reach?
Inquisitor? You may want to see this. Inquisitor! I was going to send word. I found something. This inscription, almost completely faded, but... two stood. Felt 60 true before our triumph. A breath in the hunt, and let rest the lowlanders, worthy of the lady's care. The markings and surrounding artifacts date to Emeriden's time. The references and scripts suggest Avar.
What's your theory?
I need to complete a full survey and have Professor Kenrick evaluate the site himself. But this may be a tribute to Heron and Orina, Inquisitor Emeriden's companions.
What makes you think the inscription refers to Heron and Orina?
It's only a theory, but the age of the markings and surrounding artifacts match the timeline we've established for Ameridan. We know that Ameridan and his companions came into violent contact with the Avar. I found glass fragments in the clay, several with slight veins of discoloration. Blue. Like Templar artifacts.
Templars?
The Templars were a new order in Ameridan's time. Given their small numbers then, few would be found outside the Chauncey's reach. It's unusual to find one deep in uncharted territory, unless he traveled here for a purpose, as Heron would have.
What happened here?
An encounter with ancient Avar, and not a friendly one. Ameridan and his companions were outnumbered in an unfamiliar place. If Ameridan's not here, perhaps someone bought him the time needed to keep going?
If this is the resting place of Heron and Arina, it only remains because the Avar took time to honor them.
Respect for a worthy adversary? It wouldn't be out of place.
What do you know about Heron?
When the Templar Order was first formed, Sir Heron was among its members. He's arguably the most famous of the original Templars, though he was never one of their leaders. He's better known as one of Inquisitor Ameridan's confidants. They'd known each other since youth.
So they were close. Friends.
When Ameridan was made Inquisitor, Heron's position in his inner circle was assumed. A few ballads about them survive. The type with adventures and happy endings. I don't know if they're true. They remind me of my brothers, though.
What can you tell me about Arina?
Arina was an alchemist in Orzammar. It's said she met Ameridan while dealing with a demon, but it's not known why Ameridan was there. Demons aren't common in the deep roads, but they were a problem for the Inquisition at the time. Arina knew she could help, so she joined Ameridan.
If she left Orzammar, that would make her a surfacer.
She turned her back on the stone, though it's said she had few regrets. Some claim she was actually from one of Orzammar's noble families, but who can say? She never used her last name on the surface, and once exiled, the family likely struck her name from personal documents. Professor Kenrick petitioned Orzammar's Shaperate to grant access to their records, but the request was turned down.
What will you do with this information?
Professor Kenrick will expect detailed notes on the location, stone and clay samples, and any trace artifacts I can find. If Ameridan's history is compiled, this could be worth an entire chapter. I might get credit on the inside cover.
Thank you, Colette.
Inquisitor.